It's been a wild year here at VinWiki with a lot going on with my cars, with VinWiki as a business, and with some of the things that we're going to be doing. And so it's been a while since I've made a full channel update video, so I thought today I would take some time and run through a few of the things that are going on. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen a recent post that the old Scud is back. Now, of course, I recently did a deal to sell my Lamborghini Murcielago LP670 SV, the Russell Andromeda rebuilt title car, to the Sports Car Collection, a dealership in Denver. And as a partial trade, I took another 2009 430 Scuderia as a trade. That's a yellow car, and it's a beautiful car, considerably nicer than my first one, but the car that I had for almost 3.5 years, a Grigio Silverstone over red 2009 430 Scuderia, recently popped back up for sale. Now, a little more than a year ago, I sold that car to a dealer in New Jersey. His name is Jared Hakimian, and he had actually had it for sale several different places, including at Chicago Motor Cars. And the car was listed for considerably more than I had sold it for, and that's totally fine. It's his prerogative to do so, but it did not sell for quite some time, and so it ran back through a Manheim auction, and it was bought by our local Alfa Romeo dealership over in Marietta. I got a message on Instagram that they had seen via the VinWiki app that the car was mine, and they'd bought it for inventory, and so now it is just about 20 minutes away from my house. And so I took the yellow car over there to visit to see it, and I have to say, the gray over red remains, in my opinion, the prettiest color combination for Ferraris. The yellow shows up really well, makes for great thumbnails and things like that, but they're both awesome cars, and I'm sure it will find a good home. It's always fun to see where your cars turn back up. That's one of the main reasons we started the VinWiki app in the first place, so you can make a list of all the cars that you've owned, and then if they do pop up or somebody else makes a post to it, you're gonna see what's happening there. Now, with the VinWiki app, we're in the final stages of testing an update to the iOS version, and on some of the newer devices on Android, the app is no longer available. So we're working again on an update there and potentially some different business directions for the VinWiki app to take. Now, the VinWiki app now has 500,000 registered users, more than 6 million user posts, and more than 12 billion connections between cars using the list feature. We got more than 160 million cars in the database, and it's been a great kind of journey for that in a totally unmonetized form. We don't make any money from the VinWiki app. We just accidentally have started to make money on YouTube directing people towards it, as well as to our other sponsors. And so if you haven't downloaded the VinWiki app, please do. Of course, I'm always trying to buy different cars. I have bought another car overseas that I'm in the process of importing. Of course, I couldn't do a Lemon Squad inspection of it in the country where it is, but it'll be a very entertaining Lemon Squad inspection once it gets here and I figure out what I've actually bought, because it is very rough, but it'll be a very entertaining car to have. It might end up being a Car Trek car, but I've been going back and forth with Freddie and Tyler about what the next Car Trek premise is going to be. I'm also working a deal on a very, very significant Lamborghini. Early stages, again, it's a basket case car, but hey, it might happen. I did fail again at buying a Bugatti Veyron Super Sport. There was a huge exotic car sale in Germany a couple of weeks ago, and there was essentially the matte version of the 2012 Bugatti Veyron Super Sport that I tried to buy last year. That was going to be a roll-up of several cars going into one, and I just could not make all of the moving parts of the deal work. In the same way, this car was going to be problematic because it was not a US car, but there's a few ways where you can kind of have it in the US for certain amounts of time and then let it go out and then eventually bring it back in. But these were all being sold from the collection of what I was told is a Lebanese scam artist that had taken like $500 million from investors and from some governments on some development projects and things like that. But everything brought insane money. They'd all been sitting, never serviced, no, not many miles, in very good cosmetic shape, but I didn't get close. And so again, I've tried and failed to buy a Bugatti. I made another offer on one yesterday, but again, it's always a textbook Ed Bolian, right smack dab in the middle, very low ball offer. So I don't know if I'm any closer, but hey, maybe one day. In the meantime, I'm continuing to enjoy my manual LP640s. They are my favorite car. Many of you will have watched as me, Houston Crosta, Stradman, Lambo Jesus, a lot of other LP640 enthusiasts and owners, people from Curated and things like that, we're all fighting over a one-of-one Monterey blue manual LP640 on Cars and Bids. Doug DeMuro's site, we've all loved watching that site grow into what it has become, and this is the most expensive car ever to have been bid on the site. and I bought it. So I'm excited to add that one as a third. I don't know if I'll continue to keep all three, but it was just cheap enough that I could not let it go for any less than that. I still have the higher mileage one. Mine's got 52. This one had just shy of 50, but I'm very excited to see the car once it gets here and have a lot of fun with it. Now, last year we offered a $100,000 bounty if anyone could find the 2 missing manual LP670 SVs. Now, 5 cars are relatively well known. We listed those cars in the description and in the video itself, but the other 2 are very, very hard to find any information on. And we did find some meaningful information about one of them, about the US car. It is an orange car that seems to have originally been delivered into Singapore to a huge Lamborghini collector and VIP there, but not long before we released that video, it seems to have sold for a lot of money, but still less than it would have been worth, into Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong is weird because you're not really supposed to be able to import or export cars from Hong Kong. It's usually the way into China, not always legitimately, so we may never see anything of that car again, but it appears that there was an orange manual US SV. I never saw pictures of a VIN, I never saw a picture of the interior, but I had many people with great conviction tell me that that is what happened to the car. The European car is still a little bit up in the air. There are pictures of a matte blue car being driven by Balboni, but there are things about that car that make it look like an early car with just some SV accents, so I don't really know where that is. But the other cars I know are not for sale. I know you guys send an awful lot of messages to people trying to get them to sell them so that I would pay you a bounty for doing so, but none of them have acquiesced, so none of those cars have transacted. Now, 2 years ago, we did a similar concept where we were out looking for stolen and missing exotic cars. Now, a lot of those belong to banks, so they were like kind of fake thefts where they were just hiding from their loans and the cars were out missing. And we have found 3 of those, plus one that I just was looking for information on that was a manual LP640 in the Philippines. Unfortunately, we weren't able to buy that car, but we did get one guy paid on one of the cars from one of the banks, and the 2 others are very near recovery. I can't be too precise in details on one of them, but one of them is a Rolls-Royce Phantom that's been missing for years and years from a bank that we know, and it is now in a safe home. It is now free of its liens, and it may or may not be coming my way or in a general car trek direction before too terribly long. Now, the next big thing for me, for VinWiki, and for the entire automotive world is, of course, Car Week later this month in August. And so I will be taking part in the 408 Garage Car Week experience. So we'll be doing a drive from their headquarters in San Jose into Monterey, some parties, some appearances, some events, and things like that. And so I'll be doing that on Thursday. Then on Friday, I will go to Quail. Then I'll be at their 408 Garage party at Casa de 408. That should be an awful lot of fun. There's an amazing lineup of cars. SSC, in fact, is their title sponsor, and they are bringing out the Tuatara, so it'll be interesting to see how accurate its speedometer is for this drive-in. I will be taking one of the Sway Cayennes. Now, many of you have followed along on Instagram and seen pictures and mentions here that we have been in a multi-year process partnering with Sway to build the ultimate on- and off-road Cayennes. It's a project that kind of started from me seeing some of the builds they had done for Gold Rush and other things, and the Car Trek 6 Cayenne, which was obviously one of the fan favorites from all of the Car Trek seasons. And so we've built 4 very heavily prepared Cayennes that I hope are ready for everything. Now, Sway, you've seen them partner with us on things like the cheap Gallardo sell-off that ended up becoming the Lambulance. But Sway is a research and development studio based in Northwest Montana that focuses on automotive and material sciences. So they're out innovating, making stuff, breaking stuff, improving stuff, and partnering with different people and different companies to create some of the most amazing products available. And so I'm going to be out there shortly after Car Week at their open house on August 26th. You are all invited. I'd love for you to come out there, see me, see the Cayennes, because following that, we are going off on a Sway expedition. And so be sure to follow along my Instagram, what we'll post here, and Sway's Instagram to learn more about what we're doing there. We're going to be going in some amazing directions with all the different cars, generating some content, testing the vehicles for whatever might come next, and of course, showing people what Sway is all about. Now, additionally at Car Week, I will be at Concourso Italiano. I'll have some license plates to autograph and things like that at the Premier Financial Services booth at 10:30 a.m. And later that day at Exotics on Broadway, I'll also be at the 408 Garage booth signing some things and hanging out in their booth. So follow along for that. I can't wait to see you all at Car Week, and I can't wait for a fall that is going to be very action-packed. And of course, this month, I want to thank Lemon Squad for their support of VINwiki. Honestly, get all the cars you buy checked out before you buy them, and Lemon Squad is the fastest and easiest way to do that. Their nationwide network of qualified inspectors will give you the full picture of what your car is. It's also very critical to make sure the car is real and has a VIN and has paperwork, and they can help you with all that as well. So check them out now at the link in the description below and use the code VINwiki for a 10% discount.